Hey guys, in this video I would like to talk about one of the most interesting representatives of the AI market, Akash Network. Today you will find out whether it can replace Render Network, why did we see such a terrible price jump recently, how does NVIDIA plan to pump the token, and much more. So be sure to watch this video till the end, hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get started. Before we get into the real potential of this project, I suggest that we get to know it, because many of you are seeing Akash Network for the first time. So let's start with the fact that this is the Airbnb of the cryptocurrency world. That's what the project calls itself. But why? In general, Akash is almost a direct competitor of Render Network, but with much more advanced functionality. In fact, it's a marketplace where you can rent GPUs and it's quite cheap. In general, I would like to focus as much attention on this point as possible, because this product is something as revolutionary as possible. To put it as simply as possible, Akash provides a platform where it rents out GPU power for rendering, just like the Render Network does, and of course, it is a decentralized product. They've implemented hardware like AMD and NVIDIA GPUs, so that people around the world who have these GPUs can offer their services in a decentralized way to those who need rendering. And here a very logical question might arise. Why do we need such a service in crypto when there are plenty of such resources on the Web2 space? All of them have been tested for years and have quite familiar names. And the answer is quite simple. Look at the rental prices of an average GPU from the top of this market. In the last few years, prices have risen to crazy levels. Here's a comparison with the price of Akash Network, which makes it easy to understand that this cryptocurrency project will create unrealistic competition for the market, while at this price, you can really get top hardware. And this brings the project to another level, but that's not all. You can set the technical indicators you need as quickly and easily as possible. They also have their own AI models. They are similar to the ones offered by ICP, so it's an analog of ChatGPT that works quite well, and most importantly, it's publicly available and absolutely free. They also have an AI model that converts text into an image. The interesting thing is that it works as fast as possible. I couldn't resist and decided to see what kind of logo this AI could generate for my channel. It looks pretty funny, but you have to understand that this is a free resource that I gave a very unspecific task to. But enough about that, because now you understand what kind of project it is, why it is useful, and what its main advantages are. So now I propose to move on to the analysis of the recent significant pump, evaluating the latest partnerships and news. Before we move on to the latest news and evaluation of the project's metrics, I would like to take a look at the latest pump and what led to it. After all, in just one day, the AKT token showed more than 78% growth. Personally, I thought that such a crazy price spike was caused by the launch of an interesting update or an unbelievable partnership. But in fact, it turned out that this pump was caused by the listing of the token on the Upbit exchange. As it turned out, this is one of the largest Korean crypto exchanges. It turns out that the Asian market is very interested in GPU technology and AI in general, because this news sent the token straight into space. It is clear that this is the only reason why Akash cannot stay at this level forever. So it is not even surprising that the token is currently trading well below its recent highs. However, when I saw this news, I was expecting an even bigger drop of at least $3.5 to $4 per token. So it is safe to say that the market maker of this project is doing a great job. However, let's not dwell on that, but finally move on to the latest news on the project. In fact, while scrolling through the Twitter page, I noticed that the project is quite active in its social life. Partnerships are being signed all the time. Akash Network is organizing hackathons and even educational projects, so there is something to talk about. Let's start with some interesting partnerships. GPUs from Akash will now be available on brev.dev, a special resource for developers who need various AI supplies or computing power. This resource is quite large and has very cool companies in support and partnerships. Just look at this list. So the fact that these two companies are going to start working together is very cool. I also really like the hackathon initiative. The issue of GPUs and AI narrative was analyzed quite closely. Thousands of people learned more about these areas and got to know the project itself even better. And the last thing I would like to highlight is the fact that Akash Network is trying its best to increase its presence in the information space and raise the level of brand awareness. So they decided to do a huge campaign together with Coinbase, which not only introduced users to the project, but also rewarded the best. And while this is all pretty cool, I personally haven't seen any major collaborations with NVIDIA or other giants in the GPU market. So it would be quite appropriate to move on to a comparison with Render and finally understand if Akash can replace that project. I think you all know Render Network. I've talked about it many times on my channel. It's known for its breakthrough product in the rendering industry and for its crazy list of partnerships. Apple, NVIDIA, Stability AI, and others. And if we look at this project, we can confidently say that it is definitely the leader of the AI market. At the same time, we have Akash Network, which currently does not have such high-profile partnerships. And their GPUs are not used in projects like Apple's ProVision. But is that necessary? I think not. These projects occupy very different niches. Still, Render is a bigger player, set up to work with corporations, movie studios, and all that. Whereas Akash is more of a marketplace niche, aimed at ordinary people who need a high-quality GPU. Also, Akash Network has AI projects that I told you about. So even though these projects are in the same space, they are going in slightly different directions, which does not really make them competitors. However, if the project decides to gain momentum in the large enterprise space, it can put Render in a difficult position. So we'll keep an eye on the situation and the possible struggle. In the meantime, I suggest we move on to my thoughts on the price, because there I will tell you why I believe AKT will soar to a new all-time high in just 1 month. I want to make it clear that I am only giving my subjective opinion on the future price. This is in no way financial advice, so be sure to do your own research and invest wisely. I will say right away that I plan to take positions starting at $3.5 per one token, and if we look at the short term, I expect to see at least $6-7 within a few months. At the same time, if we talk about the prospects for this year, I see no obstacles in reaching at least the current market cap of Render Network. Both projects work quite well in their niche, and if we talk about the possibility of general use, Akash is obviously ahead of Render. So I expect $15 by the end of the year, which is not a very big price surge. I would even say that this is a fairly conservative prediction. And now, as promised, I'm going to tell you why Akash is going to see a crazy price spike next month. There is a very big event that all the big funds are paying attention to, but for some reason, small investors are not. In just 1 month, NVIDIA is going to report revenues that will be 100% higher than the previous quarter. The latest reports showed that NVIDIA made almost all of its money from its GPU and AI technologies. This news sent AKT up quite a bit, so I plan to speculate on this asset. However, I want to remind you that this video is by no means financial advice. This is just my vision and thoughts on the market. So always do your own research before investing and invest wisely. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the growth of coins. Thanks for watching your Coin Post.